All right, we need to talk tariffs, how they're going to affect you, what you should do about them, how they're going to affect me and my business, and what I plan to do about them. Now, this video is non-political and is purely a view of this from a consumer and business lens. Please place any political comments in other videos, guys. There are a lot of them for you to choose from. Now, if you're unaware, I have a fairly sizable YouTube channel, Just Josh Tech, which reviews and recommends laptops. I also run a large website that does the same. As you would know, most electronics are manufactured overseas, whether it's your laptop or your iPhone. Double-digit tariffs have been placed on imported goods from all countries, and for those that manufacture electronics, it is really substantial. 32% for Taiwan and 54% for China. Semiconductors, though, coming out of Taiwan, they do have an exception. We'll talk more about this later. The first point I'd like to clear up is that a 54% rise in goods imported from China, it does not equal a 54% rise in the price of a laptop. Far from it. Tariffs are charged when goods cross the border. There are a lot of added costs that happen after. For example, it is not uncommon for around 40% of a good's price to be the cost of selling it. That covers having it on a shelf at a retailer like Best Buy, the development and maintenance of e-commerce websites, payment transaction fees, logistics and warehousing within the USA, and of course local marketing costs. Also, if a product is assembled here, the amount of it that will be affected by tariffs will be reduced. As I said earlier, there is an exception for silicon coming out of Taiwan. So, if a desktop computer is assembled here, only the cost of the parts that are imported at the time they cross the border will be affected. Anyway, even factoring this in, retailers and manufacturers are unlikely to be able to pass the full cost onto you, the consumer. This is due to elasticities of demand. This is an economic term, but it means as prices rise, less people will buy, and it accelerates above a certain point. Said another way, if companies raise prices too high, the total revenue that they receive from selling a product, i.e. units sold times by the price, it will go down. Above a certain price, it will make no sense for companies to raise prices further. They will have to eat some of the costs. Companies will obviously try to preserve their profits. That's what determines executives' bonuses, and executives, they tend to do what's in their best interests. This means that the first step that they will likely take is to cut discretionary projects. These are projects that the company is working on that are designed for long-term growth, not necessary for running the business on a day-to-day basis. This will result in a drop in innovation, as those projects, they tend to be the ones where most innovation occurs, and it will lead to layoffs. The first people to be laid off, they will likely be contractors or short-term workers. The next set will be employees working on those discretionary projects. More people being laid off means more competition to find jobs and less negotiating power for employees to demand higher wages. This means less consumer spending, particularly on discretionary items like electronics. Most people, they already have a TV, they already have a phone, they already have a laptop. Hanging onto the same one for another year or so, it isn't going to kill them. So retailers selling these products and manufacturers making them will be adversely affected. This being said, it is highly likely that companies will not be able to absorb the full cost of tariffs, not without it hitting their P&L, profit and loss. Share prices will drop. We've already seen this, particularly for electronic retailers like Best Buy and companies like HP and Dell. This is the market predicting the effects of everything I've just told you about. Now, a drop in the share price will initially affect retirees and wealthier families. These are the people who hold most of the shares. Now, when it comes to older people, they have less time to wait for the market to recover. That means they will likely have to cut their spending. When it comes to wealthier people, you may think, who cares about them? But be careful. If their wealth goes down, it is likely that they will spend less. For example, a masseur working in a spa may receive less bookings and less tips. Same goes for an air conditioning company. They may find that customers avoid more expensive units with higher margins. Additionally, wealthier people, they invest in startups. These companies hire people, and they often are responsible for innovation. Investments in such companies will also likely be affected. Moral of the story, these tariffs, they will affect most people. Now, one of the reasons for these tariffs is to spur domestic manufacturing. When it comes to electronics, this is not something that can be done overnight. Manufacturing, it's complex. It takes years to build factories and train people. Even after the factories are constructed, it is highly likely that American workers, they will cost significantly more than their overseas counterparts. So, even after factoring in the reduced cost of no longer having to ship electronics to the USA and the effect of increased employment in manufacturing in the USA, I do not expect laptops and electronics will be cheaper if manufactured locally. So, what should you do? If you're in the USA and were planning to buy a laptop this year, you may want to accelerate it. As a thumb in the air, I'd expect most laptops and consumer electronics could rise by say 10 to 20%, likely in a month or so after existing inventory sells out. Obviously, this could change at a moment's notice if tariffs change. If you feel that you're going to be in a financial pinch given everything I've just said, either don't buy or buy a cheaper model from last year, or a second-hand one. I do expect these prices will also rise as more people try to get a deal. Please buy responsibly though, now is not the time to take out debt to buy a laptop, a TV or a phone. To help your dollars go as far as possible, my team and I have spent hours updating our website with the best laptops to buy right now. This is a bit of a plug, but I think it's helpful. We've built a helpful price tracker so you can tell if the price has already risen. We've also included as many prior year models, the ones that we like that is, as we can find that are still available. Lastly, now is the time to put your head down and demonstrate value to your employer. Do not take your job for granted. If you are self-employed, start looking at your cost structure and how tariffs will affect your business. This leads nicely into how it will affect my business and what changes you can expect from my channels and website. When it comes to my business, most of our revenue comes from affiliate marketing. That's where someone buys a laptop that we recommend and we get a small commission. I like this model as it allows us to be unbiased. We don't need to produce sponsored videos that have us hyping up products that we don't truly believe in. Take Best Buy. They don't care what laptop we recommend from them as long as we recommend some. Given their huge catalog, there are always a couple we really like. And when it comes to sponsor spots within videos, I think most people find this annoying. I certainly do, so I really like that we can produce better videos by avoiding them. However, since electronic devices will now be a bigger purchase for consumers, I do expect that most people will hold onto their devices for longer. In the laptop space, most of our viewers upgrade every 3 to 5 years. I expect that to be pushed out by a year or so. I also believe that corporate clients, they will try to squeeze us. We've already seen one major partner significantly lowering our commissions. This means that we will likely earn a lot less from affiliate marketing. As mentioned, I do want to avoid increasing sponsors, so we need to raise views of our content and visitors to our website to counteract this. Something that will probably help is that consumers will likely be more careful about what they buy. They will probably do more research, which means more people will discover us. That being said, net-net, I do believe it's a negative for this business. So here's what I'm planning to do about it. We're going to work even harder here and smarter to grow this channel. We will improve our processes so that we are more efficient. I've got a whole video coming out on exactly what we're going to do. That's going to be out in the next week or so, so get subscribed for that. We'll also try to pick better topics for our videos that more people want to watch. What we won't do is degrade our brand by hyping up every laptop under the sun hoping to sell more. Not every laptop is good, and guys, you wouldn't trust us if we did that. When it comes to picking better topics, we'll reduce our time covering Halo products, i.e. laptops that cost $3,000 and up, and we'll focus on value ones. We never really focused a lot on Halo products to begin with. As our strategy, it's always been to review the laptops that you guys actually buy. But we will give those products even less airtime. We'll also control our expenses. I've been supercharging our growth by spending every dollar we make. In fact, I was looking forward to hiring 2 more people this year. Unfortunately, guys, I'm going to have to slow our growth and put those plans on hold, at least until revenue far exceeds expenses. Next, we will continue to negotiate with retailers, obviously on commission rates. Raising our views and sales, that will give us greater negotiating power here, of course it will. We'll also reprioritize features on our website, accelerating money-saving features like our new notification capability. This is super cool, by the way. You set a price, and if the laptop drops below the price, you get an alert. Additionally, we'll also accelerate the features required to roll out our website to international markets. Right now, we only recommend and receive revenue on laptops sold here in the USA. Finally, we'll produce more content on this channel, the business channel. Our strategy, it's always been that our tech channel, it helps people pick what devices to buy, our website, it helps people buy them, and then this channel, it helps people be successful in their career, which is what most people buy a laptop for. Given our limited resources, we did have to put this business channel on hold while we built up the tech channel. Folks, I kind of feel that the tech channel is now doing pretty well. What do you think? So, given what's happening in the economy, there is really going to be a huge demand for content on how to find a job and how to be successful. So we're going to give a little bit more focus to this channel. Overall, these tariffs, they will impact our revenue. That being said, you can help. Getting subscribed, it's free and easy to do, and it will encourage YouTube's algorithm to share our video with more people. Also, if it makes sense, to share either of our channels with your friends, your colleagues, or classmates, folks, that would be a big help too. At the end of the day, a good business is still a good business. We'll weather this, and we will fight our way through it. Our growth, it just may be slower than what we'd hoped for. Till next time, go do something awesome with your day, and I will catch you later.